Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire potential briefing for Thursday, August 22nd. Satellite imagery from late yesterday afternoon showed the intense burning over a large portion of the central Idaho mountains with a variety of our complexes, with their plumes seemingly merging together. Also some activity here in the Ely district, some of our new fires, new and emerging that popped up yesterday. Also a little bit down here in the Dixie National Forest, hard to see. This morning's satellite imagery shows that activity popping up fairly quickly here across eastern Nevada. Still, the burning continued through most of the night, and the smoke lingering up in the Idaho mountains. Not really active yet, but it'll give some time in a few hours. A lot going on the impact map. Monsoonal moisture being pulled up across eastern areas of the Great Basin, which is good news there, but further north, further west, strong winds, low humidity, especially across eastern Nevada today, and the Sierra front, or wind gusts could be over 45 miles an hour, and gusts around 30 miles an hour still in the vicinity of our existing fires up in Idaho and in Wyoming. Strong cold front, you can pick it out with the strong winds again on Friday. Humidity will be creeping up a little bit, but this will be a fourth or fifth day of windy conditions, and these strong winds in the brown again over 45, maybe 50 miles an hour, diminishing a bit, but still near marginally critical areas on Friday across the western portion of the Great Basin. We'll see some isolated showers popping up in the far northern periphery as well as in the east. And then a big change Friday into Saturday, much cooler air, some cool showers, temperatures cooling off maybe 20, 25 degrees or even 30 degrees from where they have been across much of the northern and western portion of the Great Basin. You see the cold front definition with these strong winds here still in Nevada and western Utah. Showers being pushed off to the east. So a lot going on. We'll start first with the lightning and see a new batch of lightning popping up in the south and the Dixie this morning. Some of this stuff in the purple is from yesterday afternoon, mostly on the wetter side there, and also moisture pushing up into the Dixie. We'll see how far north this moisture gets. Initial attack today, it was light to moderate, 14 new starts for over 1,000 acres, and we had over 12,000 acres of large fire growth. Great Basin remains at a PL5. See our new and emerging fires here in the Dixie National Forest, also in Ely's area, in parts of eastern Nevada. We'll keep an eye on that. Precipitation the past 7 days, quite a bit of it across the eastern half of the Great Basin. These areas in the green, a ½ inch to an inch of rain, but pretty scant amounts further west and further north. The ERCs reflect that. A lot of these up in the central mountains of Idaho have pushed back up towards the 90th percentile in the reds and dark reds. Same in the Sierra front. It's been dry there for quite some time, and we're seeing near record ERCs, 97th percentile across parts of the central Nevada mountains. And then it's kind of a mix, still a bit dry down in the southwest corner of Utah and parts of the Strip, but gets quite moist in areas further to the east. And also dried out a little bit here in Wyoming, where we had some new and emerging in the past 2 days. The upper level map for today shows strong winds, dry air mass in this tannish, reddish shade pushing up through much of the western and central Great Basin, getting up into where our existing fires are. We've issued high risk, where the humidity should stay below 15% and the winds should gust over 30 miles an hour. A lot of these other areas will come close, probably seeing wind gusts in the 20s, so any of these areas in the brown could see some definite fire growth. And we see the moisture further east across eastern Utah. Humidity for today, you can see the higher humidity in the east, but the very dry humidity level, single digits across parts of central Nevada, in the teens up north, so there'd be some good burning up with our existing fires today for sure. You see the winds up in the central Idaho mountains pushing the 25 to maybe 30 mile an hour gust capability. Also probably the similar speeds, near 30 in western Wyoming, but you see the strong winds, gusts over 45 here in the purple and off the Sierra front as well. And also getting into a bit of southwestern or western Utah. Now, precipitation for today, you can see down here in this heavy stuff where we saw the lightning further south. Now, our new emerging fire was a just a bit further north, so there is a concern they might only get a few hundredths of an inch with the really heavy rains further south. We'll see how that progresses. Otherwise, dry for now elsewhere. Smoke production for today will be this is the morning map on the left, the afternoon map on the right, where some of our fires will be producing smoke. You can see the strong southwest to northeast transport in a lot of these areas. Now on Friday, strong cold front coming through, cooler air into western Nevada, and maybe some clouds. Also cooler with some rising humidities up in Idaho, but still the very strong winds and very dry in this tannish shade. We've issued high risk for all areas, even though some areas the humidity may be creeping up towards or just above 20%. It will be the fifth or sixth day in a row in the west that in western Nevada that things have been windy, so sometimes the fuels don't respond to that humidity change right away. It's a big concern. So tomorrow, another big burn day. You see the strong winds. These purple shades indicate wind gusts approaching 50 miles an hour across west central Utah. Otherwise, widespread 35 to 45 mile an hour winds. Not quite as strong further west. The humidity will be higher up in western Nevada, getting into the low 20% range, but still, if we do get fire in the landscape, it'll probably still continue burning, and very strong winds up north. Humidity getting up into the 20 to 25% range in our central Idaho mountains, but again, we've seen that quite often that still results in a decent burn period. Also strong winds down in some of our new emerging, down in the Dixie National Forest. Humidity probably somewhere in the low 20s and with 50 mile an hour winds. Now, on Saturday, this front marches and this low marches further eastwards. We see clouds and showers pushing into parts of western Idaho, maybe central Idaho. Still the dry, windy conditions into the eastern Great Basin. And so we have high risk for a smaller area, not too far east where fuels have moistened quite a bit over the past several weeks. But for western portions of Utah and definitely some parts of eastern Nevada or southeastern Nevada, high risk one more day for windy conditions. See those strong winds still in that 35 to 45 mile an hour range. And still windy up north, up in the Idaho mountains, but the humidity should be getting up above 40% there. So we'll see if that helps a little bit with fire activity. 3-day precipitation total, you see the heaviest down south, but it tapers off very quickly, but still widespread along and east of the Wasatch Mountains. A quarter inch of additional precipitation on already moist fuels will be the rule. Not as much further north as we originally thought up in our central Idaho mountains. This second shade of green is about a tenth of an inch so a low-end wetting rain. It'll wet things down for maybe 2 days or so before we get drier again. And the drier air comes in quickly, although cool air under this trough of low pressure. Temperatures maybe 20 degrees cooler than normal. See our 7-day no high risk. We've moistened up a bit with a higher humidity. And then high pressure starts to build in Monday, Tuesday. There's a front that comes through and maybe clips far northern areas of our Idaho mountains with some scattered showers and some lightning possibly on Tuesday. We'll see how that plays out. And then by Wednesday, high pressure builds back in, and we see a pretty prolonged warm, dry trend with light winds, which will start drying out some of our fuels. See some areas, some PSAs sliding back into the brown. That'll probably be the trend beyond that into the Idaho mountains as far as we can see. 7-day precip totals, much of this in the first 3 days, and the 8 to 14 day shows above normal temperatures for most areas, especially the western portions of the Great Basin. Above normal precipitation for the eastern Great Basin, more towards Colorado, but there'll be a fine line along the Utah-Nevada border, where areas further west and north will be just normal, and normal end of August is typically not much precipitation. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.